Welcome to my crib, my pantry crib. Okay, you guys, I'm not kidding, but I have been getting requested for years now for me to give you guys a tour of my pantry. So that is what we're gonna be doing today. This is where all the magic happens. This area actually was one of my garages, and I said, who needs a car? We need a bigger pantry. So I got rid of one of the garages, and voila, this is the pantry. And I transformed it here, and I wanted it to look a little farmer's market-y, beautiful. Oh, I did it. At the bottom, I have chips and popcorn and snacks because my kids are little and shorter. So I want them to be able to grab and go. And then the higher we get, the more adulty we get, like condiments, olives for martinis for Kris Jenner. And then I have different sections, different containers. And then at the very top, I do backstock. And then very top, glass cake trays for all the fun, good stuff. Now in this section, I have raisins and nuts and all of those healthy things. And one of my tips and tricks would be on the very bottom. I take a label maker and I type out the expiration date. So these don't expire until November 2025. So these things, because they're airtight containers, they do last for months and months. And then we do like a pantry restock, refluff when need be. Canned goods are always a smart idea because they last some for years and only get things that you're actually going to use. Who doesn't love a lazy Susan? I don't know if that offends anyone named Susan, but cancel culture is over. So Susan, you are lazy sometimes. These I actually got from CB2. These are from good old Amazon, and I stained the lids to be gray because I am a psychotic freak. I don't know where these baskets are from, but you know, all the goodies, grab and goes that kids like. I love protein stuff, so I try to have a lot of protein snacks. And then the very bottom, I stained these wooden crates just to match the color aesthetic that I like. Chips, popcorn. Again, I feel like I'm relatable with some really healthy, and then we have some processed stuff, but that's life. You have a little bit of each, okay? That's my life, actually. I can't be full-on Courtney, but in my soul I try. It just doesn't work that way. I'm just happy that I don't have tons of plastic over here. Like, we need some Cheez-Its sometimes, guys, and sometimes we don't. But I love these glass containers with the stainless steel lids, and hopefully it's the expiration date. Yep, 11/25. There we go. See, we label things. Again, kids stuff is normally from the last two so they can grab and go, which sometimes I'm asking for it because they do make a big mess, but they're kids. I breathe it through. Condiments, oils. Ooh, this is from Brian Johnson. Love Brian Johnson. Biohacker of the world. We love to biohack. Pastas, and pastas, like this is like a one-time thing. If you just want decorative stuff, you don't have to redo this all the time. And you just keep a box of pasta somewhere. If you just want something to look good, who cares if these go stale? I don't even know if pasta does go stale. I'm not Italian, I don't know these things. But then we have canned goods, which last forever. And then over here, I love a cutting board. So I have a plethora of cutting boards. Yes, I use them, but also I like the way they look on my counter. Fruit bowl. And you guys, before you hate me, not all fruit is real. I do have orange trees, so I do have oranges, but I use fluffer plastic fruits as well, because sometimes you gotta do that. Love lining up a glass bottle. Why not? A little green adds some vibrancy and color in here. Of course, cookies and stuff, because again, life is about moderation. And then all my drawers. They're all organized. Chip clips, straws. And yes, these are not plastic, they're done by something. I forget what they are, but they're not plastic. I know they're biodegradable. What are these straws made out of again?
Corn.
Corn, that's what I was gonna say, so I think we're right. But anyways, I love a theme. So right now it's about Easter time. Spring, we do themey stuff. This is a little candy drawer, you know, again, moderation. Fruit and ring pops. And then we love to bake in this house, so we have a lot of sprinkles and baking stuff, so on and so forth. Yeah, and again, with all the sprinkles, love to bake. We need a little cereal. And then, so behind cabinets, I'm big on sort of the things that aren't too pretty that you don't want out. Like these are all the extra, like Ziploc bags and aluminum foil. These are aprons and stuff like that, things I don't really care to have out. So you're allowed to have junk drawers, although mine aren't really junk, because I still like everything organized, like backstock of sprinkles, because we have sprinkles and chocolates and all of that jazz. And these we use all the time. It's the sugar, whole wheat flour, you know, everyone's on a baking bread kick. And you gotta have all the stuff, confection sugar, cornstarch, more cutting boards for decor. And I think that every inch of space in any room can be usable space. You just have to be creative with it. If you don't have counter space for cutting boards, hammer it into a wall and keep them there. They're not only usable, but they're also pretty. And then a good old snow cone machine, because who doesn't love snow cones?
She came, she ate, and she ain't leave no crumbs up on the plate.
Okay guys, so that is really the end of my cribs pantry tour. Thank you guys for coming. So you don't have to go home, but you gotta get the hell out of here. Bye.
And she ain't leave no crumbs up on the plate.